Hi everyone, it's Pete here. So look what's finally arrived after months of waiting. It's the Kyosho Mad Van VE Brushless. So I ordered this at the beginning of February 2021. It's now getting towards the end of June and it's just arrived after various delays. So let's hope it was worth the wait. First thing to say is a bit like Tamiya. There's various different ways of saying these brands, and I think that's Kyosho, but it might be Kyosho, but I'm going with Kyosho. So this is quite exciting. It's the first Kyosho I've ever owned. So you can obviously draw comparisons with the Tamiya Lunchbox with this sort of retro 80s style van body and these monster truck tyres, but it's a very different RC. It's four-wheel drive, much lower to the ground than the Lunchbox, and later I will have a little comparison between this and my Lunchbox. So Kyosho previously did a brush version and I was quite taken with that, but I think they've done a much better job with this. They've sort of got clear windows on it and with a brushless power, and they've got these sort of protectors on the top. So yeah, I really think this is worth the extra money for the upgrade. So they are claiming 60 kilometers per hour, which is about 37 miles per hour on a 2S LiPo, so we shall see at a future date. So we've got 2.4 gigahertz radio system and a waterproof speed controller and a brushless motor. So there's a bit of blurb on the side about some of the features. So you've got metal bevel gears here, which the previous one didn't have. You've got the ability to put LEDs in, it doesn't come with them. So you've got your oil shocks. You've got a wheelie bar on this one. So if you look at the chassis, it's more like a four-wheel drive buggy chassis. It's like a Tamiya TTO2 or something like that. So it's much lower to the ground than something like a monster truck. Okay, and so we've got full bearings that you might expect, and it's just got a bit about the brushless set. So this one's got a metal centre drive shaft, the previous one had a plastic one. Okay, let's get into it. That's a sheet of safety and warranty and bits. So wow, this paint finish looks absolutely amazing. It's sort of really deep red. It sort of looks darker in different angles, and I've seen photos of this before, but they don't really do it justice. It looks absolutely fantastic. So the body all looks fantastic, but I'm thinking of practical issues like the fact they've got all these hard plastic bits on the front that look really good and really scale, but in a crash it's this that's going to hit the ground or the wall or whatever, because there's no bumper like, for instance, this Lunchbox bumper attached to the chassis, which sort of saves the front of the car. So I think that's a bit of a shame, so I'm going to have to be a bit careful with this because I don't want to smash it to pieces. And also these door mirrors are a nice detail, but I wonder how long they're going to last. They feel a bit slightly springy, but yeah, I wouldn't fancy their chances too long. So one bit where they have thought about protecting the body in the event of a crash is this visor here made out of hard plastic, and these roof bars which should save it a little bit. So at the back you've got this wheelie bar, which is not only good for stopping it flipping over backwards, but it's good for protecting the back of the truck, so that's really good. It's just a bit of a shame that they've had to cut a great big chunk out of the back of the body to make it fit, but there it is. Just looking generally at how well they've finished this off. Stickers look like they're all in the right place. Some little slightly rough edges on the stickers, but pretty good really. Alright, let's have a look inside. Okay, so you've got your four-wheel drive chassis here, and on this side you've got your motor, ESC, receiver and steering servo. On the other side you put your battery, and you've got a foam spacer there depending on what size battery you've got, and there's just one strap to hold it in. So you've got your metal drive shaft there. As previously mentioned on the original Mad Van, that was plastic and this was an upgrade part, but they've put that on a standard with this one. So these monster truck tyres have got the foams in by the feel of it. So it's a slight worry they've had to put such a tall body mount on. Looks like they put a tall one and then they've extended it even more, and so I wonder how strong that is. Feels quite flexible, so hopefully this will bend rather than break. So you've got oil-filled plastic shocks with these metal caps on. So these got preload clips rather than a screw to set the tension. They feel a bit soft to me. I don't know, I think they could possibly do with slightly heavier oil, but we'll see. So this has got hex head screws throughout to hold it together, including the wheels, which is a bit unusual. I've never seen that before. Normally I have a threaded axle with a nut on. This has actually got screws to hold the wheels on, so I don't know why they've done that, but that's how it is. So let's take one off and have a look. So there's a plastic hex. So although they've done that with a screw, you can still use different wheels on this, because that is standard with the 12mm hex there. So looking at the drive shafts here, it's metal drive shafts. Looks like plastic cups actually, but hopefully they're chunky enough. It's nice chunky drive shafts, so hopefully that will last well. So putting the wheel back on is a bit more of a faff than if you've got an axle, I think. So you've got a Torx 4000 kV brushless motor, and your Brains 1060 amp ESC. So I can see the servo there, it's got a plastic spline, so it'll have plastic gears in there. Might change that out. So one problem with having the receiver on its side like that with the plugs down there is if you put lights on this, you want to be able to plug them in easily, and that'd be a bit of a faff, so maybe you need like a extension cable. So that's the rear spoiler for the body. That's a bind plug for the radio. So you've got 3 Allen keys and you've got the non-slip washers for the wheel screws. Little spanner. So I think that works with the wheelie bar. So these are shock parts, got pistons in there, and got rod ends and some more spacers. Also there's another servo horn in there. So we've got some extra stickers. It's hard to see on camera, but there's some white stickers on here which don't show up against this sheet, and these black stripes. Okay, we've got the main instructions, a few supplementary bits. That's about the slipper, the thing about the rear wing, and quite a hefty set of instructions. So they're going through the setup and setting up the radio. One thing I can't seem to find is whether this receiver is waterproof or not. It's a KR331, but I can't find any information. It would seem logical that it would be waterproof, but it doesn't say so. So hopefully there's everything you need to know to get this thing going. Got ESC settings. So it's showing you how to put on the back wing there, and it's showing you how to put LEDs in. I think I will be doing this. Troubleshooting. So very comprehensive, and there's all the spare parts. Yeah, very good. Okay, so this is your radio. It's got a nice sort of rubber grip thing on the back there. The steering wheel is offset at an angle there, which I guess makes it an easier angle. I was a bit worried actually that I wouldn't be able to reach that with my thumb, which is what I do if I'm filming the car with one hand and I'm driving it one-handed with my left hand, but I can sort of still reach that, so that is okay. It's a bit of a reach, but yeah, not too bad. So it's got nice easy dials on the back and writing that I can actually read, so I like that. So you've got all the usual things, the throttle trim, then it's the throttle limits for forward and reverse, then you can forward or reverse the throttle. I guess you've got a different ESC, and the same with the steering, you can reverse it I guess if you had a different servo. And you've got your steering dual rate and steering trim, power on the back, and you need 4 AA batteries. Always put a fresh set of batteries of the same type. So there's this switch here, it doesn't reference it in the instructions, so I guess that's for another channel, but they don't say about it. Just going to test out the electronics, and this is what I'd call a standard size 2S LiPo hard case. So let's just see if that fits with that foam in there. Yeah, so that fits perfectly with that foam still in there. This one's got the wrong plug, so I just need an adapter. So the ESC comes with this T plug or Dean's plug. Actually, one thing it's useful to do is to strap the wires down so they don't get caught in the wheels. Let's get the wheels up off the ground. Okay, so the throttle neutral trim, you can see if you turn that forward it will start to go, so that needs to be back there. So if you turn the throttle limit right down, and go slow and turn that up. Full power. And the steering trim. And the steering rate. So if I turn it fully one way and turn that up, so if you turn this up too high you can hear the servo starting to make a buzz, so that's not good. Let's turn that back a little bit. The steering servo is really quick actually, so as long as it's got enough power. Yeah, I'm not sure. Just looking at the instructions to see if I could find anything about this bit, and I can't find anything, but it looks like you just put that on instead of this piece here and this support bit here. I think you take all that off and just have that, so if you don't want a wheelie bar but you want a bit of protection for the back of the body, I think you just use that instead. So look at the bottom of this, it's nice and flat and it'll glide over things, but you've got the battery strap there, which is a bit of a shame because that's going to get all mud on it. It shouldn't get caught if it's nice and tight, but they could have sort of designed that differently, put a slot in there and a slot under there, and they could have sort of threaded it through sort of under the battery and left that clear. But anyway, just noticing that part of the steering threads through under there. It's odd, isn't it? Hopefully that's tucked away enough it won't catch rocks or anything. So there is a little tiny bumper there which might help it ride over things. It would be nice if there was a bigger bumper that would protect the body a bit more. So one thing I'm noticing is this chrome plastic seems to have a bit of bend to it, because normally with the Tamiya kits the chrome plastic is so hard and brittle that it breaks very easily, so I'm sort of hoping that maybe this might last a bit longer. I was saying earlier about the obvious comparison between this and the Tamiya Lunchbox, but how similar are they? Well, so you can see the Mad Van, very much lower stance than the Lunchbox. The Lunchbox got a more realistic monster truck height. So you can see the Mad Van's got a longer wheelbase and also a wider trap than the Lunchbox. But the wheels are very similar size. The Mad Van wheels are very slightly taller. Okay, so what with this body being so nice, what I could do with is a basher shell. So genius idea, what I'll do is just get the brown one from the brush version and use that as a basher shell. Let's just see how much it costs. 60 quid! Maybe I'll do something else. So I've got this Lexan Lunchbox shell. It's too short really. This is an armoured granite shell, which is the right sort of wheelbase. I think if I lowered the back of that down, that might work. So I think basically the idea is to not go too nuts with this one. So what I'm going to do with this is take the accessories off and then use Gorilla Tape behind, and then put the accessories back on for a bit of extra strength. And also where the body holes are, I'm just going to put some double-sided tape and some extra Lexan. So also off camera I've cut out this wing, and it was incredibly difficult. It's really hard plastic this. I've got the right sort of Lexan scissors, but yeah, really tough. So it's a little bit rough around the edges, but I'm figuring it'll give you a bit more protection on the back of the van. Hopefully that's a bit stronger now. So I've put the spoiler on. I'm not sure if it actually enhances the appearance, but it's a bit of protection for the back there. So what I'm going to do is go and give this a little test drive. So I've got some shots to put at the end of this video, and then before too long I get a proper run video up together, maybe a little review of this. In the meantime, thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.